Hi, welcome to this is the review of Japan's win over Tajikistan overnight. They won 4-0 in Tajikistan, and as a result of that game, they've now qualified for the fourth round of qualifiers because the other game in the group, Uzbekistan versus North Korea, well, Uzbekistan won that, so now both Japan and Uzbekistan are mathematically qualified for the fourth round. Yeah, it was a 4-0 win, but there was a lot to be desired from the performance, I felt. The first half in particular was absolutely awful. The team looked very complacent, but, they won comfortably, and you can only really beat the opponent in front of you, so I don't think it's correct to get on Zach's back just because the performance wasn't very good. Maybe wait till if he starts to lose against more capable opponents, and then we'll see what happens. But we're qualified, and I suppose that's what matters. It was a tough game. The conditions they played, I think I said this in the preview, the pitch was in terrible condition. It was slightly better than I thought it was going to be, but nonetheless, the ball bounced very unevenly. And also, they had to play, I think, a day fixture because of temperature or something like this, but they were playing in the day. And I think a few players, particularly Uchida, they struggled with the heat a little bit. The lineup, Japan's starting lineup was a 4-2-3-1, starting with Kawashima in goals, Konno and Yoshida at centre back, Komano at left back, Uchida at right back, Endo and Hasebe in the centre of the park, followed by Kagawa on the left, Kengo Nakamura in the centre, starting for his second time in a row, in place of Keisuke Honda, and on the right, Shinji Okazaki, and up front was Mike Havenaar. I'll start with the first half. It was a very poor half, though. They seemed quite a bit complacent. They let Tajikistan play their own game. And credit to Tajikistan, they were a lot better than they showed in Nagai Stadium. Japan were quite complacent defensively. They didn't go in for their challenges properly. I think they were just trying to get out of the game without any injuries or something like this, because players like Hasebe and Uchida, who usually put in good challenges, weren't putting their heart into it. So that was a shame. I think Tajikistan sort of worked them up because they had quite a few shots, particularly from distance, one of which hit the post, and would have been quite embarrassing for Japan to have conceded the first goal. But Tajikistan, they were up to the task in the first half, to a degree. Like, they were definitely better than they were in Japan. Konno, well, the team was playing I think the best word to describe it was lazy, and I think it was great that Konno, he scored the first goal, and I think it was about the 33rd to somewhere in the 30th minute, 30-something minute. It was a good goal, sort of worked the team up a bit. But what happens, he stole the ball He stole the ball when Tajikistan were on the break on the wing. Stole it, started running up the pitch, even though he was a centre back, because let's face it, the rest of the team weren't attacking all that decisively. So he ran up the pitch. Eventually, towards the edge of the box, he gave it off to Kagawa, and after a little bit of play, Hasebe crossed it in. Kengo took a shot, and on the deflection from the goalie, Konno was there again and drilled it home. Congratulations to him. That was his first goal for the Japanese national team. Well deserved. Konno, him and Yuichi Komano, I thought, were the two outstanding players for Japan last night. First half in particular, they really shone. Komano had a very good game. It was very professional, and he was one of the few players that had a sense of urgency about them, who really wanted to play. in the first half, Mike Havenaar, Shinji Kagawa were quite absent. As well as that, I thought Okazaki, he had a couple of chances and he did a bit of running, but he didn't seem quite up to scratch for his own standards. Hasebe in centre of midfield, he had an okay game. I thought defensively he wasn't that good. He tried to get the team going from midfield because he had a few runs forward trying to get the team sort of started really. But he failed a little bit to get them going. It looked quite obvious that the team missed Honda because he's the sort of player that really has that kind of cocky attitude in this team. And it was quite frustrating to watch because they wouldn't shoot when it was necessary. I think the most disappointing player for Japan was Uchida by far. His first half was absolutely useless, but I think I'll give him a break there because he's just come back from injury. I think he's going to take a little bit of time to get back to full standard. And I think it's just good that he got 90 minutes under his belt. So, I mean, yes, he was probably the flop of the game for Japan, but I think he's only going to get better because I think he had one or two games for Schalke before coming back. Or no, one game for Schalke, then one game on the bench, and then he's come back for Japan into bizarre conditions. So, he'll get better, but yeah, he did not have a good game. His first half was quite poor. In the second half, Japan were a lot better. Not fantastic, but they were good. Scored 3 goals in the second half. You get the feeling Zach told them off a little bit in the dressing room at halftime because they came out with a bit more of a vigour. But Uchida, he improved slightly, but he still wasn't quite up to scratch. But again, he's lacking match fitness, I think, so that's okay. Havenaar got pulled off for Roichi Maeda. Maeda, he scored a goal, but other than that goal, he was a bit absent. Really not a lot happened with him. Good stuff that happened in the second half. I think Kagawa switched on quite a lot. He started making plays and started running a bit. He still wasn't running the offense like he should be. But he was definitely better. Okazaki put away a couple chances. He was there at the right time. Let's see what else. I thought that Maeda, he scored a goal. Nice shot. But I'm just looking at the replay now. But it was clear that's a goal you can only score against a team that is ranked in the lower, 160 or whatever they are. It was a nice strike, but he's never ever going to be able to hold the ball for 5 seconds on the edge of the box before shooting, right? That's realistically not going to happen against a good team. So it's good he got a goal. I think it's good for his confidence, I suppose. But he probably should have shot first time. Even if it missed, it would have been more practical to shoot first time. Late in the game, Kiyotake came on for Kagawa, and I thought that was a great move because Kagawa just wasn't cutting it, and Kiyotake came with a bit like a player that had something to prove because he's sort of still a fringe player for this team. And he played very well. The build-up for the final goal by Okazaki was completely orchestrated by Kiyotake, and it was very nice work in, I think, the 2nd minute of injury time. I think it wasn't a great performance, but you can only really beat the team in front of you. Their first half was terrible, a little bit like the first half against Uzbekistan, really. It just had a lot of complacence about it. And, sure, they're the Asian champions, but, I was at the Asian Cup and I was there. They struggled against a lot of teams like Syria or Jordan, so I think they've got to get out of this sort of cocky attitude that they can just sort of just outclass any opponent, because they have to do the work, because these teams want to play. Next game I'll do a review in a few days is against North Korea. North Korea are eliminated and Japan have qualified, so we'll see what happens. Alright, great, thank you.